Well, I actually did this video yesterday night and had it uploading, and my damn computer disconnected itself from the internet again. And the video didn't get uploaded, which is fine because I didn't like how it turned out anyway, so I'm going to redo it. Obviously, seed showed up yesterday, or at least 2/3 of it. I'm still waiting on 25 bags of a 2-2 bean to put down on that muck. I was hoping to get something more around the neighborhood of a 1.8 or a 1.9, but Corona has everything so jacked up right now that they couldn't get me any. Couldn't find any. So I had to settle for a 2-2 NK, which is coming hopefully by Friday. I had hoped to be out or have the planter over here today and be calibrating the planter, but we were getting like 35, 40 mile an hour wind gusts, and it's really damn cold out because of it. So don't let the sunshine fool you. It's not really pleasant to be outside right now in any way, shape, or form. But anyway, seed. Gonna be my first year planting Wyckoff. I got a Wyckoff 2.6 bean W2619s. E3s, so basically I can spray pretty much anything I want on them. 2 years ago, I had a field with mare's tail in it, and last year, I and a lot of other guys got blindsided, and there was mare's tail everywhere. I mean, we went from having none, like little tiny patches of it here and there 2 years ago, to last year I don't think there was a clean bean field within 100 miles of here. I mean, at least last year was terrible for beans. Couldn't kill the shit. And the weird part is, normally mare's tail is an early weed, so when you know you're gonna have it. Most of the mare's tail around here, guys got their first spray application done. The fields were nice and clean, and like right around the just before the 4th of July, they started to come up. And by like the week after the 4th of July, that shit was everywhere. And by that point, it was damn near too late to do anything about it. So, like I say, this year I'm going with an E3 bean, which will allow me to spray 2,4-D. And 2,4-D will smoke the shit out of mare's tail. So that's going to be taken care of. Corn I didn't have an issue with because I sprayed a product called Impact for the first time. And oh my God, I love that stuff. And well, it took care of the mare's tail, like no problem whatsoever. And then I had a field with ragweed in it that probably got about yay tall before it was dry enough to be able to get across it to spray it. I sprayed with that Impact. I had Impact. I had a Roundup knockoff for just 41% glyphosate. I can't remember the label name on it. I wanted atrazine, but he forgot to bring it, and I ended up not needing it anyhow. But this year I'm putting atrazine on. Oh, what was the other thing I had? I had Impact. I had that glyphosate. There was one other thing, and I can't remember. It's been too long, but like I say, I hit that ragweed with that Impact, and it was like easily like hip high, and 3 days later it was dead, flat on the ground, smoked, never to be heard from again. So I was really impressed with that. So got that 2.6 bean, got that NK 2.2 bean coming, which I don't actually know what variety it is on those NK beans because the guy I bought this seed from couldn't find me anything short enough, so he called a buddy that works for Helena, and he found me what he thought was going to be, he thought he had some 1.9s. Well, he didn't have the 1.9s he thought he had. The shortest he had or could get in a reasonable amount of time was this 2.2, and I never even asked him what the variety was. I just said send it. He said it'd do good on muck, so I'm going to go with it. And then as far as corn goes, my main hybrid is going to be a 110-day LG 5590 double pro. Normally I try to plant medium rounds because they work better in a plate planter, but because Corona naturally has everything fucked up, the quickest he could get me shipped, or the quickest thing he can get me shipped, was a medium flat, which doesn't, we'll find out how it goes. I got 2 or 3 sets of flat seed plates for my planter, so I've got the plates for it. It just, flat seed doesn't necessarily work all that great in a plate planter, so we'll see how well I can get my population dialed in. And then initially I only had 2 corn hybrids I was planting this year. Well, again, because Corona has everything so fucked up, he couldn't get me the other hybrid I wanted, so we ended up having to get me 2 different ones, and he said, plant the one you want and send me one back that you don't. So I got 2 options here. I have an 82-day LG 32C83, and I have an 88-day LG 38C80, both double pro. And the reason that I'm going with a short season like that is I'm trying an experiment this year. These last 3 years, especially the last 2 years, but last 3 years in reality, we have not been getting shit for fall dry down weather, and corn has been coming out wetter than hell. And I've been getting docked at the elevator, and there's been guys that have been blowing buku bucks on trying to get stuff dried down. And there's been guys trying to let the stuff stand over winter with mixed results. And last year, I think the wettest corn I shelled was 28%, which I ended up running through my buddy's dryer because that was just too wet to haul in. The driest I ran was, I did have one field that made it down to 21, and that was on sand, and it was the first, I'm pretty sure it was the first field I got planted, actually. But I want to go to the opposite end of the spectrum. I want to see what happens, because there's not really a whole lot of data available for it, because I don't think too many guys are worried about trying it. Well, A, I don't think there's too many guys worried about trying it, and B, a lot of those shorter season hybrids, because they're very low volume, don't get planted a whole lot because they're so short. They don't get the research and the trade availability and stuff like that. So generally, it also turns out to be a cheaper corn. But I want to take that 80. I'm probably going to plant the 88 day and skip the 82 day, because the 82 is really short. Originally I had an 85, but I'm probably going to stick with the 88 day and only plant the 82 day if I need it. I'm only putting in 10 acres, so 4 bags should get me at 32,000. But anyway, I want to get that stuff hammered in as early as I can and see where I come out, because the seed's cheaper than a full season, and if it comes out of the field at between 15 and 17%, you're not going to get docked for it. So even if it only makes 170, 175 bushel an acre, which around here is still a fairly respectable yield, you're not getting docked for moisture. And generally, I got a buddy north of town that likes to grow between a 90 and a 95 day, and his test weight is always knocking on 60 bushel plus really hard, or 60 pound a bushel really hard. So generally your test weight's going to be really good on a short season corn. Generally, we'll find out how this works. So you're not going to get docked for low test weight. So if you're coming out dry, low test weight or high test weight, and if you can start shelling corn middle of September, end of September, so you're not fighting mud, so you're not packing the shit out of your ground, if it makes 175 bushel an acre, you're still probably money ahead than trying to go full season and try to get 200 and 210 bushel an acre out of it, because you're not paying or losing money on wet corn, and you're not messing your ground up trying to mud it out, because you're going to be shelling it sooner. And it'll probably fill better because if it's pollinating earlier, you're going to miss the summer heat that generally happens during pollination in late July, early August when corn's pollinating. So, like I say, it's going to be an experiment. We'll see how it goes. 10 acres of it. It's actually a 2-acre chunk and an 8-acre chunk that are really similar, that are like damn near twins in soil type. They're only about a mile apart. So, like I say, we'll see how things go. Only other thing I got to do is go pick up another bottle of graphite because that's about out. So, like I say, I would have liked to have had the planter over here today getting my plates figured out, but it's not. I don't know if you can hear it. It's fucking blowing and beat the band out there. It would just not be fun at all trying to work out in the driveway and count seeds, and it just, nah. There's still time. It's still only the 3rd week of April. So, and as soon as my other 2 beans get here, get the drill over here, get my transmission settings figured out for both those varieties. Try to get that muck hammered in right off the bat, and then the rest of it, 2.6, I can pretty much plant that anytime I want to. Try to focus down the corn right off the bat if the ground will let me hit that first, but so yeah, that's pretty much where we're at, and I'm just waiting on UPS to bring me some damn tractor parts I've been waiting on for a week. So hopefully those show up here this afternoon and get some stuff ordered for the elevator, because the weather this weekend was supposed to be nice, and then today it went to shit. So probably gonna be some shop work happening this weekend 'cause it's supposed to be raining and cold. That's the other reason I'm not in too much of a hurry to get the planter set up, because there ain't no sense in getting in a hurry trying to get planted if the temperature or air temperature never gets above 50 degrees. You sure as hell ain't gonna get the soil temperature above 50 degrees to get anything to germinate. So anyhow, that's basically it for now. Like I say, made this yesterday, trying it again today, see if it turns out better. So I guess that does it for this one, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.